Hello, lovely people, and welcome to the newest episode of Ask Your Lesbian Mums. Today we're joined by your favourite auntie and uncle, Jamie and Shaaba. Don't worry though, to keep with COVID regulations, we're talking through a door. Does have glass in. Hello.
You can't tell there's glass from there. I was like, I'm just looking at wood right now.
It's a bit like that old series of Blind Date with Cilla Black. And your blind date tonight.
So we're going to be answering questions that were asked over on our Instagram at Jessie and Claude. But first off, Jamie and Shaaba, would you like to introduce yourselves?
My name's Shaaba.
I'm Jamie.
We are an LGBT plus couple in different ways. We are not lesbian mums. We can be your bisexual, trans...
Aunt and uncle.
Yes, we were talking about this today.
Uh-huh.
You know how there's mum and dad and then there's parents? Is there a gender neutral term for aunts and uncles or nieces and nephews? We have cousins and children and parents.
Then what's it I saw niblet.
Niblets. Oh,
Yeah,
like little bits
they're
of corn.
gender neutral term for niece and nephew.
Oh, niblets.
Okay.
I love that.
Niblets.
If it's not a thing, it is now. Welcome, niblet.
Yeah, please, if you have gender neutral terms for aunts and uncles,
I'd love to know.
let us know down in the comments. Okay, so we're going to start with kind of an easy question. I'm 17. All my friends are getting girlfriends and boyfriends and I'm not. I just feel very unlovable. Any advice? Well, I would say first of all, there's no timeline for life. There's no rule book. No one says at this age you have to do this, at this age you have to do that.
100%.
You know, I'm sure we all lost our virginities at different ages, had our first kiss at different ages.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have your first girlfriend until you were 21?
23.
23.
Yeah, there's no time. Just because other people around you are doing it, if it's not right for you yet, or you haven't found that one person that you want to do that thing with, there's really not any point, I feel personally, in just being like, this person's here, they're okay, we can date because I need to date someone.
Oh, for sure. I remember feeling like, I'm really strange compared to everybody else. I felt really behind all of the people of my age. Yeah, up to then we met. And I was like, it can just happen really quickly and you don't know when and you don't know who, and it's just worth waiting and not pressuring yourself.
Also, there might never be, and that's okay too. You know, you do you. And just to offer a devil's advocate point of view, I feel like you might disagree as a couple. We often talk very openly about how we regret getting together so young. We wish we had the ability to not be in a relationship.
To have dated when we were teenagers.
And found ourselves independently a bit more too. Don't stress yourself out, my love.
No, I totally agree with that. Jessica says she wishes that she didn't have a girlfriend before me because she would have wanted me to be the only one because we're soulmates. But I was like, no, I prefer that we had some life experience first.
Play the field.
Yeah. I even tried to encourage your brother's now wife to break up with your brother because they had been dating since the age of 12 and I was like, you just don't know really if he's the one.
They are still together and they are now married.
No.
So don't listen to my advice.
No. The next question, Jamie may be able to help with. So, I thought I was gay and a lesbian, but I have actually realised that I'm trans. How do I tell people that actually I'm a guy and I'm straight?
Oh, well, I might be able to tell. This is literally the scenario I was in. I was 16, I thought I was a lesbian, and then I was like, oh no, I'm a trans guy.
Oops.
Yeah. I think it's about finding somebody that you feel you can talk to first. Coming out and telling people that is always really scary, but I found it so much easier after I told friendship groups, parents, just somebody that was on my side, and then I felt ready to go out to the world and be this is who I am. That sounds really cheesy.
It's fine, it's your journey and it's what worked. Yeah, that's great.
I think it's perfectly fine to come out as many times as you need.
Oh yeah.
If you think, maybe I think I might be bisexual, and then you're like, oh no, actually I think I'm gay, and then you're like, no, I was wrong. I wasn't bisexual.
There's a lot of stigma around that, I got it wrong, but why should there be?
Yeah. I think it's great to know who you are.
It's also easier to know that you have the support of people who love you before you go out and tell other people, because if you get rejected or discriminated against by other people, at least you know that other people have your backing,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, which moves us on to another question, which is, how can I help my homophobic family accept me?
I always go with time and gentle education. You can't force people to see the world a certain way or force people to accept things, but there's a way of having a balance of patience and kind of just bringing it up every so often, if it's safe to do so, that over time can sometimes bring people's barriers down and lead them to being more open-minded.
And not getting confrontational about it.
Yeah.
Just be like, if they're like, oh, your friend, it's like, it's not just my friend. Like, but you don't have to argue about it.
Yeah.
Respect yourself, but in a way that's not aggressive.
Yeah, and keep yourself safe, because sometimes things that you might perceive as being your parent being homophobic, i.e. in a social situation not introducing your girlfriend as your girlfriend, might actually be your parent protecting you from a wider group that they know are going to react negatively to that situation.
Or if they don't know how they're going to react.
Yeah, that too. So I think safety first, always, and a little by little approach. I think
baby steps.
Any kind of phobia, a good thing is to get to the root of why they feel that way. Like maybe what they're feeling is actually a deep sadness because they really wanted grandkids maybe, and they're like, but I just, I thought this life for you in my head and you were going to get married and have kids and now you'll never be happy. And so it's really great if you can bring them
that's not
examples that say, that's not true. There are many couples nowadays.
Look at this amazing same-gender couple right here.
People can get married, they can be happy, they can parent if they want to, if that's right for them. This isn't blocking my avenues, parents. This is opening them up, so I'm happy.
I think it's also important to remember that people do things, like parents in particular, they're often acting in your best interests. Sometimes when someone thinks so strongly that what they're doing is right, they're not willing to listen. So you've got to wait until you can be saying something, but they might not be listening. So it's just waiting until that moment where they're open to listening.
Sometimes people have a light bulb moment, just seeing something, hearing something, and
My
then
mum
that's
was a prime
when
example.
that's when they become receptive and more open-minded.
So how did your mother come to that moment?
I mean, we had a situation where it was so many, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. It was not a linear journey at all. And with regards to accepting your transition as your partner, which is different to my story, it was actually after Jamie had surgery, which we didn't even tell her about because I was worried about making things worse. And soon after, when something went very wrong and you had to go in for a second emergency surgery and I was just a broken mess on the floor.
Your
my mum was
like
texting me and I
and
told her. She came straight away, she saw you, and then she said, her exact words were, I realise now that no one would choose to put themselves through that amount of pain or, even surgery just for no reason. This isn't a choice. And it was on her own accord then that she then went and read up, watched the documentary, and became really open to then listening and understanding more.
Yeah, and a lot of people of an older generation have been brought up to believe that LGBTQ plus identities are a sexual preference, meaning it's something that we have chosen and we can therefore unchoose.
Like something off the menu.
But we of course know is not the truth.
I recently just found out that to commit adultery, the actual term to officially commit adultery is you have to have had sex with the opposite sex. So if you're in a same-sex relationship, it doesn't count if you had sex with another woman. So, I think that's kind of really unfair and backwards. But I don't know if it's been put in place to protect people who are closeted within marriages, but then I still think it's still adultery, isn't it?
Just to be clear, we live in England, a country in which it is legal to get married as a same-sex couple, but you cannot divorce for same-sex sexual relations.
No.
Wow.
That was just a really random little side point.
Don't worry, she was not Googling that for any concerning reasons that have to do with us.
I was like, I did a bit of a boob.
Your mums are safe. You're staying together. Okay, this one is specifically for Shaaba. How do you deal with feeling like an imposter as a bisexual when you're dating a man?
Do you ever?
An imposter?
Do you ever deal with it? It's tricky, and I think it's just been time and understanding my own place with my own identity that's helped me preserve my sense of being LGBT+. Even today, and I think it's slightly different because with the platform that we have, I'm always seen as Jamie's ally, the trans ally, the trans person. So that can sometimes feel, it's funny, it's the irony because bi is always raised anyway. But give it time, and also, if you feel up for it, take a look into bi culture as a thing in itself. It's something we've both had a lot of fun exploring recently, and it is a thing of its own term, and it helps plump up your little identity.
What if you're a bi person in a straight relationship? Like, you can look up bi culture, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but just bi culture in general. I know it sounds kind of odd, but we saw something recently, and it's like imagine a pie chart where there's like blue for boys, pink for girls, and bisexual is purple. Quite often the assumption is that being bi is because you're a mix of the two. But if you see purple as its own colour, not as a combination of something, you realise that actually clear phone cases and cuffed jeans are a thing for bisexuals. I'm not saying that everyone like does.
I have a clear phone case.
There must be.
What was the other thing?
Rolled up cuffed jeans.
Oh, I'm safe. I don't own jeans.
You have one of each.
Do you do this?
I've never kissed a boy.
Do we do this?
Ever
Yeah.
want to.
Awkward thumbs up.
Did you finger guns?
Bisexuals. It's a whole thing.
Look, it's kind of...
Sorry, are the bisexuals claiming everything?
To that, the lesbians claim that we like to sit
Like
on the
me.
floor at social
Yeah,
gatherings.
Which is really true.
Stop it.
You sit on the floor.
It's just comfier, okay?
Alright, next one. I sometimes dream of being with boys, even though I'm in a happy gay relationship. Is that normal?
So imagine this is a...
Yeah, so this is a girl who is in a relationship with another girl, but she still sometimes dreams about boys.
Like
And the answer to
sexually?
that- I'm assuming,
Or like
yes.
romantic dreams?
She just says dream. I sometimes dream of being with boys.
Or being with, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think dreams, I personally am quite a big believer of dreams, because I think they're very much like your subconscious thoughts, and if you keep dreaming it a lot, it's like really like yourself is trying to tell you something that maybe you're ignoring.
Not just the cheese you ate too late at night.
Yeah, I mean, you can have some really weird psycho kind of like dreams, but like if it's something really specific and it's often the theme is repeated, I often and it's quite realistic to life, then I often think it is something that maybe you should listen to. And the fact that you're asking the question now, maybe you are also realising that maybe you should...
Perhaps there's something you wish to explore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't necessarily mean anything about the relationship that you are currently in.
Yeah.
Because your sexuality is something that stands alone, I always think, from the person that you're dating. So the person that you're dating probably falls into the Venn diagram of people that you fancy. However, they are not all of it. Just because you're a woman currently dating a man does not mean you're straight. You could be bisexual. Just because you're two women currently dating and you're like, maybe, boys are quite attractive, doesn't mean that you can't still be dating that woman.
Yeah.
You're allowed to fancy whoever you want, and as many people as you like. As
You
many
can win
different
your
types of
shot.
As
people.
long as you don't make a purchase. If you subscribe to monogamy.
In which case. Alright, what is the difference between a fear of intimacy and a lack of romantic attraction? I love my girlfriend, but I'm so scared.
It might take some digging, particularly if there's something traumatic that's led to you feeling that way. But intrinsically, I feel like that's something that I would probably know if I really questioned and asked myself.
Because
Whether it was coming from a place of fear or just not wanting.
Because if there's like a desire there, but it's like there's a block on you acting out those desires, or is there just a lack of wanting that?
Yeah.
I think that the best advice we could give would be to explore within the boundaries that you feel safe, a little by little by little, so kind of building up intimacy.
Yeah, the best thing is to communicate to your partner that you're feeling like that and say, I'm sorry, this is how I feel, but I obviously love you and I don't want to be like this. I'd like it if we can be more intimate, if that's what you want. And then maybe just say, can we just start with like sensual touching, but it's not going to lead anywhere, just so it takes away some of the fear of more. Maybe there's an expectation of having to fulfill some kind of sexual requirement and fantasy, and that's what's putting too much pressure on you.
Yeah, if you say like, today we're just gonna make out. It's not going to lead anywhere, and we're both aware
Have a
of
safe
this.
word.
Therefore,
Set
I'm not
boundaries.
feeling any pressure. Yeah,
We're just
have a safe word.
We'll do like some massages of each other's bodies, and then we'll just have a cuddle afterwards or something,
Oh, that sounds so lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow's
Let's
plan.
all massage and cuddle, guys. Sounds good.
It's quite hard to recognise it's something that you just actually don't want to
Yeah.
do because you know it's so socially expected of you to
But,
do it.
Yeah. That's
So then you feel like,
that's
there's something wrong with me for not wanting it.
Yeah.
When actually there's something wrong with you. Like,
There is never anything wrong with how you are feeling. You are always valid to feel how you feel.
Shaaba.
Nibble it.
God.
a little nugget for the niblet.
That was perfect. I'm in love with my best friend who has a boyfriend. What should I do? My entire teenage years.
The love triangle. The twilight of scenarios.
Is it a love triangle? It's more like a love line. It doesn't join.
Unless you're into the boyfriend too, it's a love line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless the boyfriend's into you. That's all.
Oh,
Imagine.
wow.
That'd be
Yeah. I really like my best friend, but she likes her boyfriend, but her boyfriend likes me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hope it's not that
messy.
situation, because that's complex. Huh?
There is a reality TV show in that somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
We were best friends. I fell in love with you,
When I had a boyfriend.
but you didn't have a boyfriend. But it's still...
Shaaba's
She's
like,
like,
I did have a boyfriend.
You didn't have
You did have a boyfriend?
Hang on.
Not when I had those feelings for you.
It depends when you
Yeah.
fell in love. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But see, you told me you were crushing on someone else who then didn't end up being real.
No, they
Oh
were real.
my god!
Oh no, they were real. It just wasn't like a serious interest.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a controversial opinion on that kind of scenario, but it's like if this person that you liked was single, it's kind of like if you feel comfortable
It's
to express your
different,
feelings,
yeah.
go for it. But when they're in a relationship, I think it's not fair to impede on
Yes.
that relationship.
It doesn't matter what.
That's a
sex-
lesson I should have learned as a teenager. That you crush on your best friend, and regardless of her sexuality, she's in a relationship.
I think it's just like the general rule of life.
Someone's in a relationship, step back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, next.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
That was very in sync.
Now you should go and follow Jamie and Shaaba across all of their social medias, which I will be listing down in the description. And we are also going to be making a video that you will find on Shaaba's channel. And it's out right now. Click the link in the end card. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.